Hello, welcome Solex Nation. We're so glad to be back with you. 2 weeks felt like a long time.
Yeah, it did. But we're back.
We're
glad to be back with you.
We love these weekly updates.
We had a great legacy event.
Oh, it was so great. Thanks for all of you who tuned in. We had some fun announcements on that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And we had some great training from some of our experts. So thank you to all of you in the Legacy group who tuned into that. Now you know our next event is a live event, and that is here in Lehi, Utah. And that is our Day of Discovery, August 26th and 27th.
And we'll have another Legacy meeting or event at that. We'll have a dinner for them.
We will, right? On that Friday night. We'll have training all day Friday, and then that Friday night we will have a Legacy group dinner.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Saturday, we have another full day of training. And we have so many people coming in to train you. It's not just Loran and Kai and Shelby. You're going to hear from so many people.
Yeah, enough of those guys.
Enough of us. Jeez. No, you're going to hear from so many frequency experts, health experts, medical experts, MDs, NDs, all of it.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for that event. Now we do have a change in ticket pricing.
Yeah, so as we get closer to a live event, it's important for us to obviously shore up the numbers of who's going to attend. And so starting July 1st, we're going to have an increase in ticket pricing that shows commitment between here and there. So if you have an interest, you want to make plans, we'd love to have you. We understand it. For those that can't, we'll miss you, but we certainly want those that can come and join us. Get your tickets by the end of June. If you can get your tickets by the end of June, on July 1st, there'll be an increase in that pricing, and then we can start to lock in some of the things we need to lock in.
We are actually right now in the process of putting together your swag bags. So we do need to have a number. That's one of the reasons why we do need a definite number, among other reasons.
Yes.
So anyway, that's coming up, that change in pricing July 1st. So get your tickets now if you know you're coming. Those are available in the back office. We also have another contest that we have been running and talking about, and that is our Disneyland giveaway. And if you haven't heard about that, we are giving away a trip for Disneyland for you and a guest, and it will be our top 3 QLAs who have the most direct QLAs underneath them.
The most active direct QLAs.
Thank you for that.
Yes, yeah. I'm always the compliance guy in this scenario.
Lawyer.
Yeah. The active QLAs. Active means that they qualify for commissions or they have 100 points. So the top 3 people with the most active QLAs at the end of July, that person and a guest will get airfare, they'll get the hotel stay, they'll get tickets into the park. Now, if you don't love Disney, that's okay. There'll be a cash out option for you. But right now, we know we have several people very motivated and planning for this.
And it's not a done deal. The numbers actually change all the time of who those top 3 are. So keep gunning for it, keep going. Yep. And we're excited to announce the winners of that. And that contest does end July 31st.
Yep. And so we'll announce right after that. And we're going in October. It'll be a great time. It's a race to the finish, as they say.
It is. Now, this past week, last week, we had an update that kind of sent a little bit of a disruption to some, where some people were having a hard time logging back into the AOScan app.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to put a reminder out there that it's always good practice. Clear your cache, clear your cookies, update Chrome, go into Chrome and clear the history of Chrome.
Yeah. But don't we have also an area on YouTube where people can go and see some of the how-tos and visually follow somebody else doing this, right?
We do. If you don't know how to do all of those things, and you know what? No shame, because I'm one of those, and I actually had to get back into my app too. And so I went to our YouTube channel, and it's just a Solex LLC YouTube, and if you look under the playlist tab, you can see the videos under Phone Tech Help. So if you go to Phone Tech Help, you'll be able to see how to clear cache and cookies, how to update Chrome, all of that fun stuff. Now you can also open this app on a different web browser too. I mean, some people have better luck with Firefox.
Yeah. Or you could be Safari.
Safari.
I mean, most of the browsers, it's an application via a web portal. So where you can connect to the internet through a web browser, obviously we recommend Chrome as a good platform. I commonly use Safari just because of how I'm set up.
Yeah.
But you have diverse opportunities. If one, in fact, you had that experience where Chrome wasn't necessarily working as quickly as you wanted, so you shifted over to Firefox.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep, and it worked great. So,
Yep.
And then remember, if you are doing these things and you're still not having any luck, please give us a call. We are always here. Well, we're not always here. We're here 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Mountain Standard Time.
Yep.
But we are here to help you. So please don't feel frustration. Just give us a call and we'll get you back up and going.
But in our hearts, we're always here for you.
That's right.
Just so you know.
That's right. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is crazy, amazing recruiters this past 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
Our
yeah.
top enrollers. Okay, let's talk about second place. Our second place enrollers each had three new people that they brought on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is Alexandra James. Congratulations, Alexandra.
And Kevin Chabot.
And Kevin Chabot, you both brought on 3. Great job to both of you. Our number one
was a
top
tie,
enrollers,
of course,
we had another tie. This one is a crazy number.
Yeah.
Okay? Each of them had
14
each
14
in the last 2 weeks.
enrollments each.
The first one is Rita Dickinson.
And the other one is Emily Tang. You'll remember both those names.
They were top enrollers
A couple
few
weeks
weeks ago.
ago,
They each
we
had
had
7.
those.
So they're averaging 7 new QLAs per
recruits,
week.
yeah, a week, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Great job.
They're on fire, and so is their team. Actually, we're starting to
Yes.
see them building. Emily, kudos to Rita. Kudos to you as well. But obviously, you're training and developing. Emily is your recruit, and Emily's starting off with such a force that it's impressive. Silver coins coming to you. Second silver coins coming to you. You're part of Legacy Group. We hope you're getting a ticket to come out to Day of Discovery. You'll attend that dinner
Yes,
that we're going to
you
have for
will.
the Legacy Group.
We will. We're excited to see you there. All right, we had a contest 2 weeks ago on our call, and we asked you all to go onto our on the YouTube page on that call and tell us about some acts of kindness that you have received lately.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to read all of those, and just it was a feel good comment section, and I love those.
Yep.
So we're going to draw 3 names, and we promised them
Hydrogen
a
water.
case of hydrogen water.
Yep.
And so we're going to do 3 of those. So let's go ahead and draw. Do you want to start? And we'll read what your act of kindness.
All right, mix them up. Mix them up. Here we go. Winner number 1, Leslie Ray. I had a follower from the Chronic Health Group I've been running for years. Take the time to email me recently. She told me how much she gained from it and thanked me for all the time I spend putting out posts and supporting the community. It didn't just make my day, it made my month.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. These are awesome. And you mentioned a feel-good post for sure. And I think we don't even have to have the experience.
Yeah.
Yet we feel what that does for us, right?
But just someone that notices something good that you've been doing and thanks you for it, that goes a long way.
It does.
So thank you, Leslie. All right, the next one is Dawn Dublaze. Acts of kindness. On wee morning hours of Sunday, 3 a.m., I badly injured a few toes, especially my big toe. Monday landed me in the ER for x-rays, and my Solex colleague, Nancy Bardenheimer, volunteered to run Cepheid frequencies over 2 days for me. It was an unexpected gift for which I am forever grateful. Thank you for these miraculous tools in our toolkit. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and people who do something with them.
Yes.
That makes this so powerful.
We have this tool. We have Cepheids. We have this, and using it to help another. What a great way to use it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because if it sits there on the shelf,
it's doing nothing.
Yeah, that's no good. All right, last one. Philip Romryle. I hope I said your last name right, Philip. I just cannot believe the amazing improvements and the additions that Solex continues to bring to us again and again. Thank you, Loran, and the entire Solex family. The AO mobile scanner has absolutely changed and improved our overall quality of life. Just being able to better manage allergies, asthma, headaches, and muscle pain or soreness is near priceless. We use our Cepheid daily and hope to always have our device available to help ourselves and others. Thank you again, Solex. Philip, I feel like that was a gratitude message to us.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Philip. How kind.
Well, and I have a gratitude message to Philip. I actually recognize your name because I see you on our Facebook group helping others. So you do your part to spread goodwill and to help and answer questions on the Facebook group. And we here at Solex appreciate that too. So, all right, congratulations to all three of you. You're all getting a case of hydrogen water, and we'll get that sent out to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, one more announcement we actually want to talk about. We are putting an addition into the scanner that we feel like is going to help, especially to those that you give an Alpha 3 pass to, but help the new people coming on. And that is, we are making basically how-to videos, how to run a scan. So you may have seen the first one show up in YouTube, and we will start posting all of those in YouTube as they are done. But not only are they going to be in YouTube, they're going to be on your scanner. So when you log into your scanner and you know when you say you click on Inner Voice and there's a question mark in the upper right-hand corner, you'll be able to click on that question mark. Now you can click on it and there's information there. There will still be that information there. We're not taking that away. But in addition to that, we will have these how-to videos in your scanner. So when somebody is trying it for the first time, may not understand how to run the scan, they can play that video really quickly and just get a brief overview. So we want to show you here on this call what we're talking about. And so we're going to go ahead and show you right now what the Inner Voice how-to video looks like.
The Inner Voice scan is an incredible part of AO scan technology. It takes just a small snapshot of your voice and measures the audio frequencies, then plays balancing frequencies to create harmony in your body. Did you know that your vocal cords hold information about your thoughts, emotions, and your well-being? Inner Voice helps diminish the excess frequencies you may have and bolsters those you lack. Learn more about Inner Voice by tapping the question mark icon on the top right corner of your device. Are you ready to run an Inner Voice scan? Let's go. Tap the microphone button here to record your voice if you'd like to just do an Inner Voice scan. Tap this button if you'd like to do an Inner Voice and also a vital scan. You'll want to start by saying, "I am," followed by your first and last name, and continue talking about anything you'd like for 10 seconds. Now your report has been generated. Put on some headphones or earbuds and tap Balancing Harmonics to listen to your tones and bring your body into balance. Please remember, your reports are private and we do not save them. If you would like to keep them, tap on the Reports button to send them to your connected account email. One last thing. Towards the bottom, you will see the 4 notes which are out of balance for you at the time of your scan. To strengthen your results, use the recommended colored Lightwave glasses. Our proprietary Lightwave glasses come in 12 colors, and each carries its own benefits. We are so excited for you to try Inner Voice and immediately benefit from this incredible technology. Want more information? Tap on the question mark button to read all about Inner Voice.
You know, I feel like that is going to be so helpful once we have all of these videos done. And just to clarify, we do not have those in the scanner yet. They are coming. So in the meantime, go to YouTube and you can send those videos to whoever needs them, whoever you're bringing on, whoever's interested, whoever you send an Alpha 3 pass to. We do have Inner Voice and Vitals done, and the next are under construction right now, almost done, and they should be coming onto YouTube in the next few weeks. So watch
as
for
soon
those.
as we have them, they're in your hands, at least through YouTube, while we get them embedded or to their final landing place within the scanner, where everybody has immediate access within the tool.
We're excited for those videos, though. We hope we are too. Now, we had at our Legacy group, we launched some new products.
Yes.
And if you were in attendance at that Legacy event, you know what we were talking about. If you weren't in attendance and you happen to have been in your back office, and
you probably
seen it. And
we got a few phone calls
on
Monday morning saying, what are these?
This?
What are they doing?
So you're probably wondering, what these new products are. So we're going to show you, actually first we're going to start off with two, we call them hype videos.
Yeah.
We're going to show you our two hype videos for, the first one is called Think, and the second one is called Omega Pro. And we'll start off with those, and then we're going to give you a little description just so you kind of get an idea of what these products are. However, we are going to link our full description of Think and Omega Pro, including what the ingredients are, what they do, how they work in conjunction with each other, why we chose them, we're going to do the whole video, the whole gamut. We're going to put that on YouTube, and we will have a link to that video in the comments on this call. So if you want to watch that entire segment, go ahead and click the link in the comments. Anything else you want to say?
No, let's jump into the videos.
All right. I love this product more than any product I've ever taken, just so you know. We'll get into that.
More than any product?
Any product I've ever taken.
It's a bold statement.
It is a bold statement, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But that's not the only product that we're introducing today.
Yeah, we said two.
Yes,
we said a couple of announcements.
So what's the other one?
The other one is going to go right with Think, and this is Omega Pro. Omega Pro, we're bringing about a premium product, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But before we get into Omega Pro, we said two announcements, Think and Omega Pro. Let's jump into why.
Okay.
Why are we doing this? Now, everybody knows that we've been talking about this gut-brain connection for quite a while.
We have.
And we need to continue to talk about it because it is incredibly powerful. This whole central nervous system and all of that communication that goes from the gut to the brain to the gut. We introduced X last fall.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and one of the reasons was let's get our guts in shape so that the communication and the signaling can be optimal.
That's right. That's right.
Think is being introduced because we want to prepare the other side of the brain. We want to make sure that the first brain, the primary brain, is ready for all of that signaling and balanced with the health that's taking place in our guts.
Yes.
We need to have the healthy brain as well.
Yes.
So, do you remember the commercial? Okay, so I'm probably going to date you. If you remember
You're
this.
going to date
I'm gonna
me,
date everybody
or you're going to make me old?
Well, I date you anyways.
Okay, all right.
We're married. If you don't know that, I
Yeah,
do date her
okay.
on a regular basis. So regarding this commercial, do you remember the commercial? It's back in the 80s, I want to say. And it was a piping hot frying pan with butter in it. And then the voice over the commercial said, "This is drugs." And then they crack an egg and they drop an egg in it. And then the voice comes over, "This is your brain on drugs," right?
Any questions?
Yeah,
okay.
We all remember that.
So yeah, if we admit that we remember that, I guess we are calling ourselves old.
Yeah,
That was a while ago.
Well, hopefully most of you remember that commercial.
Yes.
And I don't want to make too much of a dramatic effect from that commercial and saying anything that we're all prone to drugs. But what I want to do is take the feel of that commercial and translate it to something that most of us, if not all of us, do actually experience regarding our brains and the harm that we expose our brains to.
Right.
Now, what the example I want to share is this. Consider the frying pan, but not piping hot.
Okay.
You put it on the stove, and you crack your egg, and your egg is the brain, and you put it on into the frying pan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just turn the frying pan on low. You're not going to see anything. You're not going to feel anything. The egg's going to be just fine. No problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you leave it on low for an awful long time,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more time than it takes to cook the egg, what's going to happen to the egg?
I would think that it would lose a lot of moisture
Yeah.
and probably get very Well, dry and shrivel up.
Yes, and hard and like a rock. It's going to be less of what it's supposed to be because of the damage that's done. Even though the damage that's being done to it is slow and over time. That is more of what it's like to have our brains exposed to the natural dangers of the environment. Let me give you some facts.
Okay.
The brain weighs 2 pounds. Okay. It consumes 20% of the body's oxygen. Think about your entire body.
That's significant.
It's significant. That is a huge amount. It is an energy monster when it comes, because it has an awful lot to do. It does 125 trillion synaptic exchange.
Trillion with a T?
With a T.
Wow.
Like you and I and all of us really can't even comprehend what that is like.
Right.
What's going on inside. Let me tell you, your brain is powerful, and this is not to be a dissection of the brain and all that it can do, because we have to accept the fact that the brain can do a gross amount of things that we can't even comprehend or really understand right now.
Right.
But we do understand that the effects of our environments over time cause damage to the brain.
Right.
Cellular damage. At the basic level, things start to break down and break apart. Stress in our lives. Who has stress?
I can't think of a single person who doesn't have stress.
Yes, everybody has stress. Stress in and of itself puts a pressure on the environment where that high consumption of oxygen actually leads to some danger. What about radiation? What about other toxins? Over a lifetime, we are exposed to so many factors that harm us.
You're talking about oxidative stress.
Yes.
This is something that Dr. Tucker actually talks a lot about.
Yes. Yeah, oxidative stress is like, if you don't know what oxidative stress is, consider it as being like rust on metal, right? Oxidative stress is rust on metal. You know that if you left the rust there on that metal over time, it's just going to eat it away.
You get the metal, but can you get rust off of metal?
Yes, you can.
Probably not easily, but
not easily, and usually you work at it over time. The same is the effect here when we're talking about the benefits. What can you do to the brain to protect it from oxidative stress? Well, first we have to understand what oxidative stress is. Oxidative stress is excess free radicals floating in that environment, and those free radicals can do damage.
Okay, I've heard free radicals a lot. I don't necessarily know what free radicals are.
Okay, good. Let's dive a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Radicals come from that oxygen consumption and the nature that they don't have an alignment, or in the brain's process of the antioxidant response, they aren't cleaned up. If they aren't cleaned up, then they're roaming free. When they roam free, this reactive oxygen species, that's the technical term, they can do damage. Now let me put a caveat there, okay? Reactive oxygen species aren't always bad.
Okay.
But when we have the wrong conditions, they will actually do harm. They do harm in a couple of ways. They do harm on macromolecules, and you're thinking like lipids and proteins and nucleic acid inside the brain specifically. But then they also do damage to the cell membranes. Here we're thinking like plasma and the mitochondrial and endomembrane structures and systems, all of which are throughout that central nervous system. Central nervous system, so I'm going to refer to that as the CNS.
Okay.
Okay.
Central
and we've
nervous
talked
system.
about, gut health,
all the
second
time.
brain,
Yes.
brain, primary brain. This whole thing and everything in between is all part of that central nervous system. The interesting thing about the CNS is this. Most systems within the body focus on one primary function. They have one main task that they're trying to do. CNS has a myriad of things it's trying to do all of the time. Thus, the 125 trillion synaptic exchanges just in the brain alone, let alone all of the other synaptic exchanges that are feeding information to and from the gut.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to even get a grip on,
Yeah.
but it's exciting when you start to learn about it. So when we think, okay, what does it influence? What does the CNS influence? Influences your voluntary and involuntary processes. Think about your core thoughts, your perceptions, your emotions. Those are all part and dealt with within the CNS. that central nervous system. So when you have stress on the CNS or radiation or toxins that are starting to damage cellular structure, function, communication within the CNS, you then develop neurodegenerative diseases. That's has been known to be historically involved. Think of Alzheimer's, and also not just neurodegenerative diseases, but neuropsychiatric disorders are also tied to the destruction of cells within the CNS. There you want to think about anxiety and depression. Those are all factors within this environment, and we don't necessarily think about these things. We don't consider that, boy, that environment is hurt.
Well, I think a lot of us think that these things are inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, we all, my parents, your parents, and sometimes me, I think of this, that sometimes a slow reaction and thought process or forgetting something that you just know so well is like, well, I'm getting old.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I saw this saying the other day. How did it go? It was so funny. It said, "Don't be jealous, but I can forget what I'm doing right in the middle of when I'm doing it."
Yes, but it's true. And often we make the mistake. And I'll say generally this is a mistake. It doesn't mean I'm not discounting any specific conditions.
Right.
But generally it's a mistake just to attribute aging for natural slow brain or CNS function.
Because we don't have to have that happen.
It doesn't have to happen. And often I would attribute that sensation of things slowing down and not functioning the way we want them to because of damage that's done to the cells.
Through oxidative stress.
And those free radicals roaming free and just doing damage. So when we talk about think was designed to combat this very nature. Not just to support you with a rich supply of antioxidants, but also a structure that's intended to instigate the natural brain function responses that protect it.
And to support them.
Right? And so what you were trying to do is don't just throw more resource at it, but throw specific resources that allow the brain to do its process most efficiently, but then also when things are lessened, it has the right rich resource to do something about them. It's like filling up the tank with gas, right? I mean, if you have to stop every mile and add a mile's worth of gas, that's going to be rough on the brain's process and the engine itself. But if you can always be supporting it with a full tank, you're going to give it its rich resource to do what it needs to do.
See, and I love the idea of think too, because I think in this day and age, we're so used to just throwing drugs at it. We're so used to, oh, you have this problem, take this medication, or and instead of getting to the root of the problem and trying to fix the issues.
Yeah, and even allowing the system to do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Right?
Our bodies are smart.
Yeah. So when we think of think isn't made of anything synthetic.
Nothing.
Think is only resourced by things that are natural, naturally derived ingredients. And we're going to talk a little bit about those ingredients.
We are back today with questions from you for Loran. So we'll start off talking about inner voice. Are the new tones coming soon for inner voice? I love to listen to mine at length some days. Makes me feel good.
Okay, now I love this question. And it's one we've had a few times over the last 6 or 7 months. We have been working on the next upgrade to inner voice probably since July last year, right after the day of discovery, our first day of discovery. Inner voice is an integral part of the scanner. In fact, more integral now than it was even a year ago, because we're tying more into your voice than we ever did before. And the data that we're getting back as far as the detail in your scans is so much more comprehensive. And so we love inner voice, and from what we hear from you, most of you do really like it as well. But you get tired, you get used to the same music every time. Even though what's behind the music is different every time, the music, we get, okay, I've heard that before, and we start to zone it out. We don't want that to happen. So here's some of the things that are coming, and it will come over a few updates. It won't be all in one update. And they're going to start happening in July, the first one, and then, not quite sure, but within a few weeks of each one, they'll come up. But here's what you're looking at. You're going to be able to, well, first of all, let me say, your scan from your voice, that isn't changing other than getting more comprehensive in the frequencies that we're be able to scan and look at. But you're going to be able to, once you've done your voice, you're going to be able to go in and select, okay, I want this piece of music. And there will be a lot more than just 6 pieces of music. And I want this pattern, and you're going to be able to customize what you listen to. The only thing you will not be able to change is the actual frequencies that are optimizing from your voice scan. Does that make sense? So you're going to have the full latitude on how that composes. You're going to be able to hear it and say, I want this a little higher, a little lower. I want to change it to this piece of music. And then none of this is going to be hard. It'll just come in a drop-down menu, and you click, click, click. You can preview. Yeah, I like that. And then bam, that's what you're going to listen to for those 3 minutes. And you're going to have the ability to do that on every one of your voice scans, every one of your inner voice scans. In fact, so let's say I did my inner voice this morning, and I go through and I select this piece of music, and I want this this blend and balance. I can select that and then say, I want to do it again. And you can go and select another piece of music and another blend, even though the frequency signature will be the same, but you're going to be able to make it to where it's almost a new experience every single time you do an inner voice. And I think that, in my opinion, that's going to take inner voice into a whole new realm.
Okay, I just have a quick question about what you just said.
Okay.
I love that we get to choose which music we would like over our tones. What about those days, though, when you feel like you're in a huge rush and you just want to have it automatic and you want to go? Will you have an option to automatically play it, or do you have to choose music every time?
That's a fair question. Okay, so we're giving you all the freedoms to make all the changes you want and modifications you want to it. But if you just want to do it in a hurry, you have 2 options. One, just click and it will automatically go in and pre-select a piece of music, balance it automatically for you. And by the way, it does that in a matter of half a second.
Wow.
Doesn't take a long time, and then it'll just play for you. But if it's one of those days where you've got the time to relax and just enjoy and you want to play with it, you've got the ability to go through and select that. Or the other option is you can say, do an intelligent selection. Kind of like in your comprehensive. You have the, the comprehensive complete scan that it will go through and it will automatically select for you based on your frequencies. This will do the same thing. It will go through, if you hit intelligence selection or whatever we actually name that, it'll go through and automatically find the piece of music that resonates with you right now. And it will automatically adjust the blend of the music and the frequencies to what it perceives would be well received at your frequency level.
Wow.
Now that's probably the one that I would do the most because I'm a little bit lazy and I just push a button and do it. But for those of you that really like to select your music, you're going to have the ability to go through and just kind of customize it the way you want. So you're going to have the ability to do an intelligent selection, just a quick one, which it doesn't do it intelligently. It just kind of goes through, picks it, balances, and sends it to you. Or you have the ability to go in and customize it all the way.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, so it's good. Now, one thing we're not going to allow to happen right now is for you to put your own music. And the reason for that is there's a matrix of frequencies that's playing behind the music. Remember, the music is just lipstick on a pig. Okay, it is just there to hide.
It's making the tones tolerable.
Yeah, because the tones are pretty grating to listen to.
Yeah.
So, but if you were to go in there and put in, some hard rock, heavy beat music, and have you're going to really disrupt that frequency to the brain.
Yeah.
And so inner voice is something that there is a scientific approach that has to be maintained to where you get the benefit of the frequencies. Remember, the main reason for inner voice is the frequency signature that's going in left ear and right ear, and they are different. And the music is just to make it tolerable. And with the music, we've been listening to the same piece of music now for 18 months? And you get to the point where, yeah, I've heard it, yeah, and you may still like it, and you may still want to listen to that, and you still have the ability to. But you're going to have a much broader selection of music that will not interfere adversely with the frequencies that we really need.
That's exciting. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, we are excited about this one. So.
All right, let's move on to another question. This one is about the body system scan and the vital. So she's saying she found when she runs a body system scan and then a vital scan right after, sometimes the vitals information from both reports are completely different. I understand we're in a constant state of flux and background noise can interfere, but I was curious if there might be another reason.
Okay, so when you do, did she do the vitals first or the body system first?
Body systems.
Okay,
and then
and
vitals.
it wouldn't matter. You did one first and then you did another one. Once you've done one of those scans, your body now is anticipating those changes. It's accepting those changes from the scan and the optimization. So when you go from the vitals now to the comprehensive or body system or vice versa, it's already factoring in those frequencies that you've already introduced to the body. And so that is going to make a pretty dramatic change. Remember, we've said in the past, always have an hour before or an hour in between when you're doing scans, and there will be changes. And remember, I think I mentioned this in one of the calls not too long ago, everything is affecting our frequencies. You could have just got off the phone with somebody that was unpleasant, or you just got some bad news, or you got some really good news. That's changing your frequency balance in your body. Mm-hmm. And so when you scan, it's now scanning based on your current frequency state. I don't want to get this into too far into the esoteric, but remember, we are frequencies and we're swimming in frequencies, and at any given moment in time, unless you're out in the middle of nowhere, you've got cell phone frequencies, TV frequencies, satellite radio frequencies, electrical frequencies, all going through us. Mm-hmm. And so all of that is affecting us. So your results from one scan to the next are always going to be dealing with all of this outside, I won't call it noise because it's not what we hear it, but that outside frequency noise that's affecting us and interfering with our own thing. So
you have outside noise that's interfering with you. You also have, for example, a body system scan where you optimized the frequencies that are out of balance, and then you went and did a vital scan. Of course it's going to be different. You've already optimized some of the things that were out. Mm-hmm. Yep. It makes total sense that it's going to be different. So the things that are showing up similarly in each scan, are those the things that you pay attention to?
Yes, yeah, and that takes us into a whole nother question. What happens when I see all these 9s or a 1, or sporadically things come up as a 9 or a 1? These are issues because things are always changing. We're looking for patterns and consistencies.
Okay. All right, question about the pet ID tag. Does the tag have anything specific in it that makes it important for the pet to actually wear? I'd rather my cats not have to wear multiple tags if I can avoid it. I just don't know how important this tag actually is. Thank you.
Good question, and I understand and appreciate that. The tag has an RFID chip in it. That's how we can identify that particular, or how you can identify that particular tag. So does the pet need to wear the tag all the time? And the answer to that is no. Put it in the, whenever you're going to scan your pet, have the tag next to your pet. Because that tag is just identifying your pet with your scanner. So you pulled up the cat's frequency or profile. It now knows it's to look for that tag. And then if it's near the cat, it's going to get better effect. Now, let's say that the cat loses a tag. you've got the profile in there, so it still knows the signature of that cat. Again, going back to, I like to use this a lot, prayer. When we pray for somebody, they're not wearing a tag or they're not wearing it. That is able to get to them because that's where the intent is, and the frequencies follow that intention. But when you've got the tag and you got it near your pet, when you're going to do a scan, make it closer to the pet and you'll be fine.
Okay, and I love that. And now, speaking of intention, let's talk about this question. Can you scan someone remotely without them being on the phone with you, or can you scan them without their knowledge?
The answer to those questions is yes, both. But both of those questions. But it comes down to should you. So if you've got a person's permission, hey, anytime you want to scan me, Loran, go ahead and scan me. If you've got, then yeah, that's fine. If you're scanning somebody remotely and you don't have their permission, it's kind of an invasion of their personal space. But more importantly, you need to understand this. We all have our own frequency free agency, for lack of a better expression. And if somebody is sending you, or if you are sending a frequency scan to somebody, and they're not wanting it, it's not going to affect them because they have that ability to stop. Remember, everything in the AO scanner is subtle. We're dealing with the subtle energies and with the intent. Now, if you're sending bad things to somebody, shame on you.
Yeah.
And the beauty for those that you're sending it to, they have that built-in protection anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Now, as far as scanning someone remotely without them being on the phone with you, I do that all the time. In fact, I have a daughter that lives out of state, and she calls me all the time. Mom, I'm not feeling well. Can you scan me? And so I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And she's not on the phone.
Yeah.
So that works just fine. Let's do one more.
Okay.
I was on antibiotics for 2 years for a non-tuberculosis microbacterial infection. It shows up every once in a while on the scanner as a 9 or a 1. Does that mean it's back?
Okay, so the key to that question was every once in a while. So it's not a consistent thing. So it could be a cellular memory, it could be something that triggered that cellular memory. But in most cases, the answer to that question would be no. Now, if it's showing up every single time, then I would say, yeah, there's a good chance that it could be back. But if it's just sporadic every once in a while, that is not something that could be concerned because so many things could cause those. Remember, we've always said check a scan 3 times, and if it's consistently coming up a 9 or a 1 or an 8 or a 2 every single time you scan, pay attention. But if it's just every once in a while you get a 1 or a 9 or a 2 or an 8, but it's not consistent, that could just been indigestion. It could have just been something that just affected you at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So most important thing, don't worry about it. Worry is like paying interest on a loan you didn't take. So we don't worry about things. We pay attention to them. And then we make educated decisions on changing either our emotions, our diet, our circle of influence. But we don't worry about things. We're grateful for what we have. Even be grateful for the times that things aren't so good because they'll help you be more cognitive of the times when you are in a good space. So don't worry, be happy, and use your scanner.
Great advice.
Okay.
Keep those questions coming. Remember, if you're not a member of our Facebook group, it's Solex AO Scan Official. Go request to be a member of that group, and you can ask your questions there, and we'll try to get to them on these calls.
Thanks.
All right, it's time to give away something, Loran.
It is. We do it every week.
Yes, every week that we have a call.
Yeah.
You know what I think we should do?
I think that's a professional idea.
Okay, we announced Think and Omega Pro. It's time to set up a giveaway for Think and Omega Pro, the combo, both of them.
I think that's perfect.
Okay, to 3 people, comment on this call something that you like about what you heard about Think and Pro. Give us a comment, and we'll draw from those comments next week, giving away to 3 people the combo pack of Thinking Pro. We'll see you later.
We'll see you then.
We have a call.
I did.
Go, wait.
Oh, heck.
Okay.
Take 3.
Okay.